is repeat, not revenge in the desert.
These are difficult moments for AJ.
Look, if you knew my story, you would understand the passion.
Joshua takes on Jermaine Franklin, perhaps one of the most important fights of his career.
Joshua on a revival mission, looking to rebuild his career.
The winner,
The quest to become world heavyweight champion for a third time continues.
He lets that right hand go, bang, it's good night against anybody.
This is the AJ of old. Anthony Joshua gets his 24th knockout, and boy, did he make it look easy.
And now, the toughest of the tests against Francis Ngannou.
Here we go. It is lights out. Anthony Joshua.
He's the best heavyweight in the world. That was one of the most destructive knockouts I've ever seen.
Can't predict the future, but I know where I want to go, I know what I want to do. I believe I'm going to be three-time heavyweight champion of the world,
Hello and welcome to the DAZN Boxing Show, live from the OVO, Wembley Arena, for a very special fight card announcement and the press conference. Alongside me is two former world champions and the real backbone of the DAZN team, Barry Jones and Darren Barker. Now, nothing has officially been announced yet, but as you can see from all the stuff behind us, all the stuff on the screen, you can probably guess what we're here for today. And if our guesses are correct, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, a good one, a huge one as well, isn't it? And it's going to be, I think it'll be a little bit spicy, a little bit back and forth, I think. And also, I think, you know, stylistically, it makes for a really, really good fight.
And Darren, it's an all-British affair, even better.
I love this fight. When there was first whispers that this could be the fight that we'd have in September, I was all for it. This is a form fight, both on tremendous run of form, both looking very good, and both extremely confident that they can win this one.
And it is happening, allegedly, the 21st of September at Wembley, and we all remember seeing AJ headline for the first time against Klitschko there.
Yeah, and what a moment that was, what a night that was. You know, he was up against a long-standing champion, of course, in Vladimir Klitschko, and the way he performed was tremendous. You know, he sort of battered Klitschko for pillar for post, but then got him come and stuck a little bit, got hurt, had to get off the floor, showed all the quality you want from a world-class heavyweight champion, of course. But for me, as good as the performance was, the speech that he gave after was inspirational. It really was. You know, just every kid, you know, in every boxing gym was on their feet ready to get to the gym the next morning after listening to Joshua's speech. I think that's where he stole the hearts of the British boxing public that night. The performance, the speech. We had a hero.
Yeah, and he's certainly gone on to achieve a lot since then, but also had a dip in his career. We've heard quite a few speeches since then as well. But it's safe to say he's probably in his second wind of his career now, isn't he?
Yeah, look, he's suffered the good, the bad, the ugly, and I think that makes him a more experienced fighter. He's rallied back, he's looked good, and the same can be said for Daniel Dubois. You know, a lot was said about his heart, his courage. Does he have that real will to win? And he's proved that against Miller and last time out, a big underdog, I felt, against Hrgovic, and you'd have to say a career best win. The way he grabbed the fight by the scruff of the neck, said, no, I am the future of this division. He's got a good case for that.
And it's safe to say, because this is a Riyadh season fight card, they're probably the two standout fighters from the Riyadh season, as well as Joseph Parker, probably.
Yeah, I would say so, because they both really had to rebuild. It was, I think, confidence is the key word for both these fighters. So obviously with Anthony Joshua, it was the confidence of not understanding why he couldn't beat Usyk twice, and then the rebuild was slow. But it was going in the right direction, I think. And I think against Wallin, he showed for the first time some authority in his work, some confidence in his ability to push the pressure and to punch through the target. And then obviously saw that then obviously against Ngannou, where he just committed with that right hand. It was one of the best shots that me and Darren have ever been ringside to witness. And Daniel Dubois, of course, we know the problems he had, of course, with Joe Joyce, you know, taking a knee and sitting it out, and again with Usyk as well. You know, even though he boxed really well, he still took a knee and sat it out. That confidence to rebuild, to believe that when he gets tired, don't panic, push through that tiredness, because on the other side is your second wind. And he did that against Big Baby Miller, and then we saw the evidence and the quality and the results against obviously against Hrgovic Oh, he started faster, he was busier, he was stronger, he was willing to push through that pain. And I just think all of a sudden he's gone from a fighter who looked good but never quite sure he was going to get to the heights to looking like a genuine world-class heavyweight.
Well, yeah, as we just saw the footage of Daniel Dubois beating Hrgovic, that was for the interim title. But although this fight is a big one, it's now even bigger. And who better to tell you about it than the undisputed champion, Alexander Usyk?
Hi, everybody, people. Anthony and Daniel, listen. I know IBF title important to you. Tell it my present to you on September 21. Guys, слава Богу за все, слава Україні.
Well, there we have it. No longer undisputed champion. The IBF, I mean, it's vacated, and now Daniel Dubois presumably will get made full world champion.
Yeah, I mean, it's unreal that they've got the opportunity now. It's a big enough fight without this title, but to become, well, look, if you're Anthony Joshua, that takes you in a whole new realm. 3-time heavyweight champion. That's remarkable. And Daniel Dubois, to look, if he's gifted and he's sort of elevated to world champion, he'll still want to win. He'll want to win, won't he, Barry, to sort of cement that as a world champion. You don't want to be gifted a belt, you want to win that. So I think he'll probably have the mindset of, right, there's a vacant title on the line here, I'm going to go out there and win it.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they going to both go into this as if it's a vacant title?
Yeah, well, definitely, of course they will. And also, because either way, if Anthony Joshua loses to Daniel Dubois, listen, you can still continue boxing. He's still in loads of money because of the name he has. But his standing in the boxing dips dramatically. You just have to be realistic. For Dubois, this is the chance he wanted. He's been calling out Joshua for a long time, saying, I'm the guy to beat him. And with his jab and the power that he has and the new confidence that we've seen in the last couple of fights, this makes this a really close fight on paper. Sure.
Yeah, and if we just focus on the form that AJ has been in, obviously we've seen him over in Saudi at the shows, and just some of the performances he's put on over there, they've been, would you say, on par with the AJ we used to see of days gone by?
Well, the ruthlessness, the menacing way that he's throwing his shots are that of the old AJ, if you want to call it that. Like, again, what we're seeing is AJ just grabbing these fights by the scruff of the neck and just saying, I'm levels above you in every single department. And we see it here. You know, a lot of people, including myself, thought this could be a tough workout against Wallin, who's no nonsense. He's in your face. And look, he came into that fight very confident, Wallin, but he just was not allowed to breathe in that fight. The Ngannou fight that Barry talks about, we expected that to happen. Those in the game knew that Anthony Joshua should get this done within the distance and look very good doing so. But I probably didn't think he was going to look as good as that. It was the way he just walked over and delivered that right hand. The menace, like I say, in which he'd done that was, yes, if you're asking that question, is it the old AJ? Yeah, he's looking very good and looking on track to being the old J, which is the AJ that we love.
Yeah, and as you say, they were expecting AJ to win that Ngannou fight, but no one really knew quite what to expect, did they? Well,
because Ngannou, at that time, Tyson Fury was clearly #1 in the world in the heavyweight division, and he took Tyson Fury to the wire. He lost the fight, but he pushed him and punished him at times, put him on the floor, and he made him look ordinary. So you only can go on your last fight, and on his last fight, he's a world-class heavyweight. But obviously, as Darren's already said, really, he had no real standing, and you had to judge how good he was. So you tend to think, especially with the way Joshua boxes, with the hands high, elbows tucked in tight, keeps his shape and his structure really well, he should be able to get through Ngannou a lot easier than Fury did, and he did. Going back to Joshua, he was never this gung-ho, swinging punches like a lunatic fighter that we all think he was. He actually was always a thoughtful fighter, always worked beyond the jab, always used his feet to get good bounce his rhythm to his work. The difference is, after the Ruiz fight, when he landed with a good shot, he wouldn't commit. Before, the old Joshua, let's call him that, he would, when he landed with a shot, he would go for it. The street would kick back in, if you want to call it that, for argument's sake. He would commit to every punch like it was the last punch he was going to throw. When he had you hurt, up until that point, he was very controlled. And I think we saw in the last couple of, certainly the Wallin fight, how controlled he was, but that ruthlessness was coming back. And I think that's what we all want to see. That's what ultimately, whatever good you are at boxing, in that division, the power, and being a stone cold finisher is what sets you apart from all the others.
Well, we did just see then on the screen, we saw Frank Warren, I think, speaking to Michael Buffer, which just gives the magnitude of today in this fight, because obviously it's Matchroom and Queensberry again. I think there's other promoters involved, and it just shows the magnitude of what these Riyadh seasons are.
When Buffer's at an event,
you know
it's a big one. The famous, the GOAT, Michael Buffer. But yeah, this is a proper fight. This is in our national stadium. For those Brit followers watching this, the world title that looks like it's going to be there, that's huge. It's a great, and the event as well. We've yet to talk about the undercard. It really is going to be a special show.
Well, yeah, before we see what else is coming today, there is plenty to look forward to live on DAZN just this weekend.
Giving boxing exactly what he needs. The best be the best. Estrada's a huge star, risking it all. We talk about pound for pound great fighters, Bam Rodriguez.
Once we're in that ring, there's no respect.
This kid is super special.
From here on out, it's just big fight after big fight. I can't wait to put on the show.
A fight of the year contender written all over it.
So much to look forward to this weekend. It's jam-packed. Starts off on Thursday with Darius Fulgham taking on Vaughan Alexander. That's on Thursday. Then you've got the two shows on Friday, Pierce San Martin and Vargas Jr. Cordonez, and then a bumper Saturday night. 3 shows to look forward to, loads to choose from, all concluding with that fight for the WBC World Super Flyweight title between Estrada and Bam Rodriguez. And Barry, this is where I've got to bring you in. How excited on a scale of 1 to 10 are you for this fight?
It's all right, it's a decent little fight. This is like my Christmas, or this is my Christmas present. This is unbelievable. What you've got now is like 2 generations crossing over each other here, and he's done it before. Bam Rodriguez, obviously, of course, with Quadras and Rungvisai. So you got a quad. I'm so excited. I got to slow down. I am.
Look at his face.
This is the fight. There's a fabulous four for super flyweights, and they're obviously Chocolatito, Estrada, Quadras, and Rungvisai. No, he's already beaten 2 of them, Bam Rodriguez. Yeah. So all he got now, he gets Estrada Saturday, then he goes for my favourite fight possibly of all time in Chocolatito. But it's a great fight. Estrada, if you think Estrada's over the hill, you're massively underselling how good he is. This is a fighter who's technically superb, has power in either hand, can fight you going forward, can fight you going back. You know, he feints, he sets up traps, he does everything right. He takes a good shot, but with Bam, I think we got a superhuman coming through to take over everything.
I think that's safe to say that's about a 20 out of 10 on excitement, and you're going to be there, even better. OK, well, back to today, and I think it's about time we got this press conference underway. So I'm going to hand you over to your host for today, and of course, DAZN's very own Eddie Oladipo.
Thank you very much, Ali. Welcome everyone to the OVO Arena. We're a stone's throw away from the National Stadium for, as you can see behind me, another very big fight announcement. Now, before we get going, I'm sure by now we've all seen the very sad news about the passing of DeAndre Jones, the son of the great Roy Jones Jr. And I'm sure I speak for everyone in the room, everyone watching at home, when I say our prayers and our heartfelt condolences go out to the Jones family and everyone that knew DeAndre in this extremely difficult time. Welcome everyone to another Riyadh season special, this one, the Wembley Stadium edition. At this time, we would like to express our thanks to our host and those that have once again made this super event very possible, the custodian of the 2 holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and to His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and to His Excellency, the Chairman of GIA, the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. The last 12 months in the sport of boxing have shown that once again, boxing has the ability, if it wants to become one of, if not, the greatest sport in the world. It's a title it certainly had in the 70s and the 80s, big fights being made, big fighters fighting regularly, big fights put on. What we have all seen in Riyadh season is just that, big fights. The fights we as the fans have waited for years. We've seen drama, we've seen upsets, we've seen world titles change hands. We even saw Francis Ngannou nearly pull off the biggest upset we've ever seen in the sport of boxing against Tyson Fury. We've seen Queensberry absolutely destroy Matchroom in the 5 versus 5. We've seen fighters that were wrote off rise again, and we've seen the great Alexander Usyk crowned the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. That theme of big fights and big events continues on September 21st, and it doesn't get much bigger than an event at the National Stadium in front of 90,000 fans, headlined by former two-time unified heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua versus the new IBF heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois, and as you can see behind me, a stellar cast on the undercard as well. Enough from me, let's get out to the stage, the most important people, the fighters. To do that, your MC, Mr. Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the press conference for a great night of World Championship Boxing, Saturday, September 21st, from Wembley Stadium in London, England. It is the Riyadh Season Card Wembley Edition, brought to you by Visit Saudi, Middle Beast, and Red Sea Global, with Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry Promotions and Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in conjunction with Riyadh Season, National Events Center, the General Entertainment Authority, GIA, Gold Star Promotions, and Sella, in association with Wasserman Boxing and Boxer. Let's first welcome Mr. Kala Sauerland of Wasserman Boxing. Mr. Spencer Brown of Gold Star Promotions. Mr. Ben Shalom of Boxer. Trainer Don Charles. Trainer Ben Davison. Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. And International Boxing Hall of Fame promoter, Mr. Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotions. Let's now welcome some of the great fighters on this card. First, let's welcome from Armthorpe, England, the undefeated Josh Eddie Headley. Let's welcome from Portsmouth, England, the undefeated Mark Thunder Chamberlain. Let's welcome from London, England, the undefeated Joshua Buatsi. Let's welcome from Carstairs, Scotland, Willie the Hutch Train Hutchinson. Let's welcome from Sunderland, Tyne and Ware, England, Josh Pretty Boy Kelly. Let's welcome, from Liverpool, England, the former world champion, Liam "Beefy" Smith. Let's welcome, from Leeds, England, the former world champion, Josh the Leeds Warrior Warrington. Let's welcome, from Belfast, Northern Ireland, the current world champion, Anthony the Andy Town Apache Kakechi. Let's welcome, from Rowley Regis, West Midlands, England, Tyler Denny. Let's welcome, from Ilford, Essex, England, the undefeated Hamza Shiraz. And now let's welcome International Boxing Hall of Fame ring announcer, the one and only Michael Buffer.
Thank you, Thomas Driver. Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have met the outstanding fighters, each and all deserving headline recognition, and that's all leading up to a special main event. On Saturday, 21 September 2024, here at this legendary site of spectacular events, of sports and entertainment, Wembley Stadium, London, England, Riyadh season will continue to make fight fans' dreams come true as two of boxing's greatest promoters join forces to present two of the best heavyweights in the world in a 12-round contest. Our promoters, representing Matchroom Boxing, Mr. Eddie Hearn, and representing Queensbury Promotions, Mr. Frank Warren. Ladies and gentlemen, now officially the Riyadh season card, Wembley edition, main event. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Heavyweight Championship of the World. At this time, let's welcome champion and challenger to the stage. First, with an outstanding record of 21 victories, 20 of the 21 by knockout, 16 KOs in his career in 4 rounds or less. Ladies and gentlemen, he only has 2 defeats from London, England. Please welcome the now 2-time heavyweight world champion, the newly crowned, officially IBF Heavyweight Champion of the World, Dynamite, Daniel Dubois.
The performance of his career.
Woo! It is official. And now, ladies and gentlemen, officially, the challenger, an Olympic gold medal champion, 28 victories in his career since becoming a professional, 25 of the 28 by KO, only 3 defeats. Now 17 of his knockouts in his career have come in 4 rounds or less. He's a 2-time heavyweight world champion from London, England. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the man known as AJ, Anthony Joshua.
Wow, that's a lineup of fighters and promoters, and it is good as well. And I say this as a boxing fan, to see several different promoters on the top table, I think it helps the sport, and hopefully this can continue to grow the sport of boxing in this country and around the world. To coin a phrase from the great Michael Buffer, let's get this party started. I do want to hear from all the fighters and the promoters. I first want to start with Spencer Brown from Gold Star Promotions. Spencer, you've been a key component in these events in Riyadh, getting off the ground. And here we are, we've been waiting for this one, a big Riyadh season event at Wembley Stadium, the home, the national home of the England football team. 90,000 people plus will be there. Talk to us about the importance of an event coming back to London, but also the success so far of Riyadh season.
Yeah, look, welcome to everybody, and some good fighters on here today, isn't there? Look, I'm just going to reiterate some things I've been talking to Turki Al-Sheikh with today. He's over the moon to be putting this card on. He's a massive lover of England. There's a lot of synergy between the two countries, and he's really looking forward to the event. He's been, you know, one of the main people in doing the card. So although we might put the card together, he's the one who chooses the fights. He's the one who wants to see it, and he's particularly happy with giving some fighters chances that they may never had, you know, or never have. So, you know, and it's all about Riyadh season. It's all about the synergy between our two countries, and it's all about bringing a massive event, you know, because we haven't seen this event for a very long time. We haven't seen a Wembley, and he promised us this a long time ago. We sat with him and he promised this, and Frank will probably tell you, and he's made it happen yet again. He's put his money behind it. The country put the money behind it. Look where we are now, this massive event, and he's got 3 more massive events to come as well. So, you know, we're really looking forward to this, and he just told me to reiterate that he hopes everybody's happy with the card, hopes it's a fantastic day out, because it's not just going to be about boxing. This is going to be about entertainment as well. So that will follow, and you'll find out all about this. So it's not just about the boxing. This is about entertainment, and the fight, the top of the card is unbelievable. 2 English heavyweights going at it. We're really looking forward to it.
Indeed, and you look at the fighters that have been assembled, and you know it is going to be entertaining fights. A lot of these fighters don't fight on the back foot. They're very, very aggressive. Frank, just to follow on from what you heard there from Spencer Brown, again, the importance of a Riyadh season event at the National Stadium. Look, we've had some incredible events in Saudi Arabia. I mean, nothing beats the Tyson Fury-Alexander Usyk fight, but it is fantastic to get an event here.
Listen, the historic Riyadh season is iconic now, and it's because of the season, His Excellency, that this is happening at Wembley. We've got a fabulous, fabulous card, probably the most stacked card in British boxing, certainly in my time in boxing. Phenomenal card. It's headlined obviously by Daniel Dubois and Anthony Joshua for the IBF title. And I've got to say, you know, this is happening because of Riyadh season. It's happening thanks to the custodian to Holy Mosque, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, also His Excellency, obviously, Turki Al-Sheikh and the Riyadh season. And we're working together with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Spencer Brown at Gold Star, Dr. Rikhan and his team at Cellar, and GEA. It's been very important because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be putting a stacked card like this on. This is what's making it an historic boxing event.
All right.
And sorry, it's the you think it's the first time Riyadh season have been in this country, and I think it's you know, when you look at it, we're better than to do it at National Stadium at Wembley. Wembley Stadium hosting this unbelievably world-class event. And tickets will be on sale on Friday on Ticketmaster.com from midday, and it will sell out. This will sell out very, very quickly. So get online and get your order in.
Well done, Frank. You ticked every single box there. You should be standing here instead. Let's go to the fighters. And Spencer, you spoke about fighters getting opportunities, fighters getting that call, and you know, maybe changing their life. And Josh Padley at the end there. Josh, that is you, isn't it? Really, getting that phone call, getting that opportunity. Tell me, what was it like when you got that phone call to say you're going to be fighting on one of the biggest cards, as Frank said, maybe the biggest card we've ever seen in this country?
As from about 10:15 last night, I was actually setting my alarm to go to work tomorrow morning today. So now to be on here, big stage with some of the best fighters that Britain has got to offer, it's quite a surreal moment for me.
Yeah, I mean, that moment will stay with you, but again, there's an opportunity there, isn't there? To beat Mark Chamberlain, the WBC silver lightweight champion, you then propel your career if you can get the W.
Definitely, yeah. I want his spot, I want to be where he is, so the only way to do that is beat him.
Beat him indeed. Mark, it's been an incredible journey for you in Riyadh season, one of the big success stories of Riyadh season. 2 fights there, 2 wins, 2 knockouts as well. We know that you are His Excellency's favourite fighter, and you go again.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to be back. 2 big platforms back to back. So first of all, I want to thank Turkey for giving me this massive opportunity, and obviously Frank Warren, my manager and promoter, and everyone who just puts the work in the office for making this happen for me. And then just got to put on a big performance on the night and keep pleasing, and I'm sure we'll be welcome back again.
How important is it that there are no slip-ups? You're on the cusp now of a world title fight, right? Fighting those guys that are top 10 in the world. How important is it you go in there, head screwed on, and do a job?
Yeah, it's crazy to even see my name up there in the top 10. But obviously I've worked all my life for this, so proves hard work pays off. Just got to keep delivering and get the win and keep pushing on.
Yeah, great division, great fight, that one as well. I think one of the best divisions in the country is the light heavyweight division, stacked with talent. And one guy that I think surprised a few, maybe not the hardcore fans, but certainly the casual fans, is Willie Hutchinson with that magnificent performance against Craig Richards. He steps up again, this time to fight Joshua Buatsi. Willie, what are the thoughts going into this one? You were super confident last time. You said your name's on a world title belt. What's the feeling right now?
Well, listen, I'm very thankful to be here. That's the first thing I want to say. I'm very, very happy to be here. Listen, I'm always bundling with confidence. I'm the wrong person not to have confidence. And listen, I'm absolutely grateful for everything, do you know what I mean? A massive card I'm on, and I'm, like I said the last one, I'm ready to get the job done with him and move on to the next one. So I'm soaking it all up and I'm enjoying myself, and look at the people. I would never ever think I'd be in the lights of the table with these type of men, do you know what I mean? I'm only a little lad from Castella's, Scotland, like. So I'm very grateful, I'm happy, and yeah, looking forward to putting on another big performance, get the job done.
In terms of a challenge, Craig Richards was a challenge. Obviously, Joshua Buatsi's slightly different. He's unbeaten, again on the cusp of a world title. Do you look at this as a big step up?
I think he's very similar to Craig Richards, if you want to know the truth. That's the God's and the truth. I think he's very, very similar, if not the same level as the man I just beat. So, yeah, I'm very, very confident in getting the job done against him and moving on.
Joshua, you heard it there. He likened you to Craig Richards in terms of ability. A lot of people saw you beat Craig Richards. Everyone knows you're that level above. Would you make it when you hear that?
Before I answer, just to thank a few people. Again, very grateful for the opportunity. I want to thank God, my team that's worked tirelessly to make this happen. To be fighting on the Riyadh season, we can't complain. We're all grateful for it. My promoter, boxer, His Excellency, very grateful. And the opinions for the opponent means nothing to me today. We've been here too many times, so we have 12 rounds or less to settle it. It's that simple.
There was a lot of talk, obviously, of a different opponent, and that opponent's been spoken about now for maybe a couple of years. It isn't that opponent, it's Willie Hutchinson. How different do you have to change your mindset because it's not the person you thought you were going to fight?
It's not the person I thought was going to fight, but it's a person that's going to try and beat me, so the mindset's the same.
Frank, I want to quickly bring you in. Obviously, you promote Willie Hutchinson. He did surprise quite a few, Frank, in beating Craig Richards. You were always confident in your man in the 5 versus 5. How confident are you that he can get the job done against Buatsi?
Well, he didn't surprise me. I fancied him from the beginning, and I knew he'd deliver, and he delivered. Look, they've both got impeccable amateur background. You know, both have done it at the highest level. So they've been boxing, like most of the guys here, boxing since they were kids, but at the highest level. And I think it's Willie's time now. He showed in his last fight that he can beat a world-class operator, and he done it, and he boxed. I thought he boxed extremely well on the night. Josh is a world-class fighter, there's no doubt about it. But I generally feel that, and that's the reason we really pushed for this fight, that Willie can beat him. And that's why we're here. That's why he's here, to go and win.
It is for an interim world title. Can we guarantee the winner of this will fight for a world title next?
The winner of this fight will be the mandatory challenger and the champion. By the way, the two champions are fighting in October, Bebatiev and Bivol, which is going to be a great unification match, again, which is part of the Riyadh season. Another brilliant fight. The winner of that is going to have to defend his title against the winner, or should I say Willie, next year, no doubt about it.
Let's have a quick word with Ben Shalom, the promoter of Joshua Buatsi. Ben, how confident are you with your man?
Look, very confident. I want to say thank you to Turkey. I want to say thank you to Riyadh season, Spencer Brown, huge opportunity. The reason we're here is the interim world title. You know, Josh wants the biggest fights. He's been the #1 light heavyweight in the country, or widely considered for a long time. And he'll want to prove that on September 21st. He's going to have to put in a big performance, but extremely confident. I think Willie Hutchinson has had a great win against Craig Richards, but this man's on another level.
It should be a fantastic fight. Two very confident fighters. Again, if you watch Willie Hutchinson against Craig Richards, you know that he's a top-tier light heavyweight, and Joshua Buatsi has been one of the best light heavyweights, I think, in the world for a few years. Really looking forward to that one, as I am this fight next between Josh Kelly and Liam Smith. I saw this one scheduled, and I was like, is Liam Smith going back down to 154 pounds? I've been told, no, this fight will be at 160. I want to come to you first, Josh Kelly, to make that decision to go to 160 pounds when you've been so successful at 154 pounds. I think on the cusp of a world title fight, why jump to 160 now?
Well, firstly, I just want to thank a heavy thank you to Turk Al Sheikh, Ryder season, and a special thank you to Spencer Brown, because he put me on here when no one else would. He believed in us, so he got us this. Turk Al Sheikh and Spencer Brown, they got me this shot, so a big thank you to that. But I think 160, I'm a big 154, so I think 160 will suit me. But I mean, I've got nothing but respect for Liam. He's had a great career. He's put Liverpool on the map, him and his brothers. There's no bad blood between me and him. It's just business. So I'm looking forward to putting a great performance on. I think stylistically it's one of the best matchups on the card, and I think we could steal the card for sure.
Is it a stay forever at 150 or at 160, or are you going to go back down to 154? What's the plan?
No, I can bounce between both of them, to be honest. I've kept myself ready, I'm in shape, so I'm ready to go now. But 160, 154, it doesn't really matter for me. I'm a big 154, and I can fill out to a 160, so we'll soon see.
Let's welcome in a former world champion at 154 pounds, Liam Smith. Liam, it's been a while since we saw you. Obviously, the last time was against Chris Eubank Jr. Back in September. You've obviously had to regroup since then, but you are back, and this is the challenge now, Josh Kelly at 160.
Yeah, obviously, you know, it's another great fight on a huge card, which I'm privileged to be sitting here, you know, with world champions, former world champions, you know, top prospects in world boxing. So, you know, I always said I wanted to fight on an Anthony Joshua card at Wembley or Tottenham, and I'm glad I get the chance to do it now. So, you know, regarding the fight, I think it's a fight that not many people thought about, but once it's picked up, they thought, oh, that's a good fight, that's an interesting fight. So, again, like I said, once I knew it was signed and sealed, you know, me focus is on Josh Kelly, and it's a fight that I'm looking forward to. It's a fight that I'm massively confident to win, and obviously I think, you know, Josh and Adam probably feel they're getting me at the right time, but, you know, there's been fighters before who made that mistake, and I think they'll do the same thing.
Do you think one of the big keys here could be experience, big fight experience? Obviously, you have travelled the world, you put on really good performances away from home as well. Maybe we haven't seen as much as that yet from Josh?
Yeah, look, obviously, you know, Josh has got to step up at some time. This might be his time, but, you know, from my point of view, looking at it, I think Josh and I think they're getting me at the right time, and the same way probably Anthony Fowler thought he was doing it after Russia. You know, I think Josh and Adam are doing it after the Kishivank fight and the time out the ring, but the time out the ring has been choice because of the injury I had. So, you know, I feel refreshed now, and you know, we've got long enough now to go, and you know, I'll have a good camp and I'll be excited. As I say, this is lit a fire in my belly again, so it's one that I'm looking forward to. I've got big respect for Josh and Adam, but you know, business is business, and you know, when we're in a fight with little gloves on, it's a total different story. So, you know, it's one that I'm massively looking forward to, and I want to thank, you know, all the promoters in, you know, Turkey, His Excellency, for having me on Riyadh season, and I'm looking forward to make the most of it.
Let's ask Kala that question. Kala Sowland, obviously, you look after Josh Kelly. Is it a case of thinking you've got Liam Smith at the right time?
Well, first of all, Spencer said it yet again. This Riyadh season, the global takeover. We just got our breath back from Riyadh with the Undisputed and Eddie v. Frank, and it goes to LA, and then it comes to London, and this is a historic card. I think it's the best ever card that's been in the UK. If you look at the stacked UK fighters sitting up here, it's just a privilege with these amazing gladiators. But I know that the main event's absolutely gigantic. I think this fight can absolutely steal the show. I think it's the right time to fight Liam. I think it's also the right weight. And I think it's the time for, you know, people who have been around the scene know Josh Kelly since many years. They know the potential. This is the time where Josh Kelly will shine. And at the most iconic venue in the world, in front of 90,000 people, absolutely.
Did you answer the question about, do you think you've got him at the right time?
Yeah, but I said, you know, I mean, me and Liam and the whole Smith family got a bit of history. Goes back about 10 years. But I think it's not only the right time, but it's Josh's time. Not thinking so much about Liam, it's Josh's time. Adam has absolutely done a fantastic job. This man is on fire. And like I said, there's sitting there with all this talent. This is such a historic card. But I do believe this fight will steal the show.
There's so many fights on this card that could steal the show, so many fights on the card that could be fight of the night. And look, I look at two guys here that I know are just going to bring it from minute one in that fight, Anthony Kakache and Josh Warrington. So many magnificent performances, I think, over Riyadh season. But I do think Anthony Kakache's performance at Joe Cordina might be the best one. Anthony, you go again, you fight Josh Warrington, he moves up in weight class. There's a lot of talk about you potentially moving up in weight class as well. How exciting is it for your career, considering the stop-start of it, that you are now the champion and you now fight on a big Wembley card?
Well, there's a difference now, you know. I don't have to go looking for the fight, and to be sharing a ring with the likes of Josh Warrington, you know, I've watched him over the years. Well, he's a real warrior. He's going to make it the best fight possible. So I think this is a real fan-friendly fight, and it's one for the fans.
Was you surprised that Josh took the fight?
No, I mean, it's a world title shot. I mean, anyone who's turning down world title shots, you know, I don't understand, because, I mean, this is the pinnacle of the sport, and that's what everyone wants at the end of the day. So, I mean, I'm not surprised one bit, no.
Anthony, where are your belts, Anthony? You're a world champion, I don't see your belts.
Simon forgot to tell me to take them over, so I have a head like a sieve, so.
Next press conference, we'll see the IBO and the IBF
next
titles.
We'll see him next day.
Josh, you've been two-time IBF featherweight champion. You now move up in weight to super featherweight champion. A big ask, Josh, but you've done it before. Every time that your back's against the wall, you think of those fights against Carl Frampton and Lee Selby as the underdog. You always surprise people.
Yeah, it seems to be when my back's against the wall and I'm shiting myself that I pull the best performances out. Just like to echo everyone else, thank likes of Steve Wood, Eddie Hearn and Frank Smith, Frank Warren and George Warren for putting the show together and coming together again. And of course the main man, His Excellency Turkey. We wouldn't all be sat here. I mean, look around. I'm again echoing everyone else, but a lot of fighters here on the top table. Headline shows, Liam's headline shows, Joshua's headline shows, we've got the big boys on the top having headline mini shows, so we wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for the main man. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I also want to just thank Anthony and his team. This has been flirted with for a week or so, and I've had nothing but respect from Anthony and his team. His performance against Cordina was absolutely phenomenal. He boxed really well. He's got my full respect. And you know, we're going to throw a kitchen sink at each other. But just like, you know, the other fighting Irish fighters that have boxed, you know, your Martin Lindsays, your Carl Framptons and your Padjo Islands, you know, when I come free time, two-way free time, I'll get the round in. So the listeners, there's nothing but respect between me and Anthony, and like he says, it's going to be a very fan-friendly fight.
Josh, it is one win in your last 5. I don't think that really tells the story of your record, because a lot of those fights have been fantastic. The Luis Alberto Lopez one was very, very close. But it is 1 win in 5. Is that extra pressure just to make sure you get the W now?
No, not whatsoever. You know, people will say, oh, fucking hell, why is he getting an opportunity again? Ticket seller. Why is he getting an opportunity? Well, you know, it's boxing. Like I said, his excellency he wants exciting fights on there. You know, back in the day, Roberto Duran lost to Marvin Hagler, and then went straight into another world title fight against Thomas Hearns. One of my favourite fighters of all time, Marco Antonio Barrera, lost to Eric Morales in a world title fight, and then went straight back into another world title fight. You know, Ryder season is about having exciting fights, and yeah, you know, you talk about an L that I've taken there, but I've only been in exciting fights. You know, this is my 8th world title fight. Every other fight that I have every fight I have is a fight of the year contender. And boxing fans want to be entertained. They want to see two fighters going at it and giving it their all, and that's what I'll be bringing on September 21st.
No doubt about it. We've seen it before, and I'm sure we're going to see it again. Apologies for the language as well, Josh. That's all right, Josh. It's okay.
Northern.
I get it. We're friends. It's fine. Eddie, I want to bring you in. We have another Queensbury versus Matchroom fight here. Obviously, your record so far in the recent weeks hasn't been the best. In terms of Josh, obviously, every time you've worked with Josh, he's always put his best in the ring. He's always done so well. What are you expecting from this one?
110% every single time. I'm so pleased for Josh. You know, this is a fight like some of these other fights that got made last night and yesterday. Everything got finalised with contracts, and you know, we finished everything with Josh about 8 o'clock last night. Train ticket was booked. Off he comes. I think Kakachi broke a lot of people's hearts against Joe Caldina. He was fantastic that night. And I think Josh really deserves this. You know, people talk about coming off defeats. Look at what he's done. You know, he's already a 2-time world champion. He's filled stadiums in Manchester and, you know, arenas and Headingley and Manchester Arena, Ellen Road. He's a fantastic fighter. I think super featherweight's really going to suit him. It's been at featherweight for a long, long time. And every Josh Warrington fight is a thriller. You know, he probably want 10, 15,000 tickets for this Riyadh season event. Unfortunately, they're not going to get them because they're going to go like hotcakes. But I think this is one of the fights of the night on what is a tremendous card. And it's been a frustrating period for Josh. I've literally, every fight that I've offered him, he said yes to. And we couldn't get it over the line. Now he gets the dream chance, as he said, to become a 3-time 2-division world champion.
Frank, let's quickly bring you in. Kakachi is your guy. We did most of the interviews in the ring after your wins out in Riyadh, and I feel like this one gave you the biggest smile as well, just because we know what he's been through, struggling to get the fights because of injuries, and now here he is, a two champion, right? IBF and IBO. Is it going to be and still?
He did, and so seized the moment. You know, he was. We really fancied him in the fight against a very good fighter in Joe Caldina, but he totally dominated the fight from the first bell, and he was looking. It was brilliant. In with Josh, you know, Josh won the world title. Leads on our show we put together for him, and he's a good fighter, but I think he's in with somebody who is coming into his own now. He's had, as you said, a few disappointments over the years, but you know, if you're patient, you keep at it like he's done. He went out and showed what he's capable of, and he showed, you know, at that level he is absolutely world class. It's a fantastic fight. The winner of it's going to have the mandatory challenge against Eduardo Nunes, so that again's a big fight. But, you know, this is one of the great fights on the card. It's going to be an unbelievable, unbelievable fight, competitive fight, but I have a lot of faith in Anto, a lot of faith in him, and I believe he'll deliver again.
Yeah, another competitive fight is in the middleweight division, and I was in Birmingham on the weekend, and I saw Tyler Denny put on, I think, a masterclass for a few rounds against Felix Cash. Maybe the underdog in the bookies, but not in my eyes. He looked really, really good in the lead up to that fight. The current European champion, and he gets his shot against Hamza Shiraz. You just fought a few days ago, Tyler. here you are again on another big one. An underdog in some people's eyes, but I know you have supreme confidence you're going to get the job done.
Yeah, of course. Firstly, I just want to thank Turkey, Spencer Brown, PCB, Howard Johnson, and this man here, Ben Shalom. I think it come up on my memories. 2 years ago today, I won the English title, and here I am now, so just keep grafting. But yeah, I thought Saturday, and the last few days have been mental, lack of sleep and getting excited about this, and then trying to not get too excited until last night when it was confirmed. But we're here now, and I'm buzzing with it. Hamza Shiraz, top fighter, someone I respect as well. Can't say a bad word about him if I wanted to. But saying all that, I'm here to win, man. I'm the European champion, man, and I feel like I'm going to get a good performance on and get the win.
Indeed. I feel like Hamza's going to echo all those statements as well. Hamza, fantastic win against Ammo Williams. That puts you in a position to fight for a world title. You take the call, you fight the European champion. What did you make? You would have watched the Felix Cash fight, I'm guessing, against Tyler Denny. What did you make of that performance?
Yeah, man, this is big time boxing. It's great to be here. First of all, I'd like to thank the Almighty Allah for allowing us to be here. I'd like to thank His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and the team, for allowing my dreams to come true. At the same time, it's an honor to fight on such a great undercard, and Anthony Joshua is someone who I've looked up to my whole career. I've molded myself around him, so you know what I mean. It's an honor to say the least. And going back to your question, yeah, I watched the fight. It's a good performance, definitely a good performance. But at the end of the day, this is boxing. It's a brutal sport. It's about being hungry, making it happen. And I've got respect for Tyler as a person, but when it comes to September 21st on fight night, it will definitely be brutal, to say the least.
You could have waited. You are in a mandatory position. You've decided to take this fight rather than wait for the Carlos Adames fight, the WBC title. Why have you done that?
Because it's the opportunity that was given. Listen, I gave the green light to all the names that I put in front of me. I gave the green light to them, and it wasn't meant to be. And this is it. It's written. Myself versus Tyler Denny, Wembley Stadium, September 21st. Let's have it.
Let's go back to Tyler Denny. Tyler, again, look, I think incredible performance. You're going to need another incredible performance. Have we seen the best of you? I almost feel like there's still a few more gears to go.
Yeah, I feel like if you ask my coaches what I do in the gym, they get very frustrated sometimes. I don't always show it. And I think the better the opponent, the better I'll be. And I think Hamza ticks that box for that. I think he's... people who's write me off against Cash, I beat him. But Hamza's another step up. But my confidence is sky high at the minute, and I feel like I'm invincible as well. Willing to take on any challenges. Wembley Stadium, Hamza Shiraz, it's a no-brainer. I'm there.
Ben, quick word from yourself. Obviously, you look after Tyler Denny. Magnificent win, as I said, on the weekend. This is a completely different task, though, isn't it? I mean, Hamza Shiraz is touted as one of the best prospects, not just in the middleweight division, in all of the divisions in boxing. How tough a task is this for Tyler?
It is a huge test, but I tell you what, this is a whirlwind. This is a fairy tale that never seems to end. When we got the call on Sunday, I didn't even want to tell Tyler until it was signed. This is truly life-changing, and I thank Spencer and His Excellency for making this British boxing story come true, because he deserves it. I mean, he's been written off his whole career, so this is nothing new. Every fight he goes into is the underdog, and he's going to have to step up again, and he's done it. 6 back-to-back wins now, many unbeaten fighters on that record, and this is another big step, but I believe he can do it, and I believe he's there to prove people wrong on September 21st.
All right, there you go. That's the undercard concluded, and now we go to the big boys. Anthony Joshua against Daniel Dubois, former two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. Anthony Joshua against the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world, Daniel Dubois, coming off that incredible performance, I felt, against Filip Hrgović. AJ's been to Wembley Stadium before. He's had some fantastic nights there before. He goes again. Daniel, this will be your first time in the National Stadium, and I expect Daniel to perform as well. Before we hear from both fighters, I do want to hear from both trainers first. I want to start with Don Charles. Don, I do think since Daniel Dubois has been with you, we've seen a change in Daniel Dubois. I felt like we saw that against Alexander Usyk for a few rounds. We certainly saw it against Jarrell Miller, and obviously we concluded it with that Filip Hrgović performance. What have you done to your man?
Well, it's all that. By the way, good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, for coming down to support this great historic event. History to be made. Going back to what you asked me in terms of improvements, It's there for all to see. It's a work in progress. We've been together, myself and Daniel, and the team, for 12 months. So people have to remember that it's just 12 months. And what he has done in that period, and we're operating, in my opinion, in 35/40% capacity. There's so much development and growth to come. So what he's achieved in that period, in the last 12 months, is unthinkable, and we're just getting started.
In terms of a loss on a record, a lot of people say you take a lot from your wins, but you can take a huge amount from a loss as well. When you look at that fight against Alexander Usyk, considering who Alexander Usyk is now, can you take a lot from that defeat?
Most definitely. Every disappointment, every time you go out there, whether you don't succeed, you learn from, whether it's a good or bad experience, it's still an experience, and you learn from them. Obviously, we're terribly disappointed for the outcome. It was a fight of two halves. We won before we lost. So we've got to learn in situations, should that happen again, to be able to close the show. So it's an experience to be learned from that situation. Of course, as much as our conceit here, and we've accepted it, basically, and acceptance is a way of cure. You move forward.
Let's go to Ben Davison, the trainer of Anthony Joshua. Ben, since AJ's been with you, I think he's looked perfect, right? I mean, we all have been hearing people say, we want to see the old AJ, the old AJ. I don't know if that adage is true, but what we can see now is that we are seeing a very, very confident Anthony Joshua. I'll ask the same question I asked to Don to you. What have you changed in AJ?
Nothing really. I just think that maybe it's the way that we articulate what it is that we want him to do, and we set out a game plan is as good as it gets when it comes to executing.
You and your team, Lee Wiley and everyone backstage, I know you're very, very articulate in terms of the way you break down fighters. You would have broken down Daniel Dubois, you would have looked at those performances. Give me a positive first about Daniel Dubois. What does he do well?
I'm not going to talk about his strengths and weaknesses. That's for us to go away, work on, dissect and plan to overcome. But like I said, we've already done the groundwork. It's just a case of going through that with AJ, and like I said, I know when it comes time to execute, there's no one better.
And so far, so good in terms of execution from Anthony Joshua. Okay, let's hear from both promoters, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. We'll start with the champion promoter first, and that's you, Frank Warren. Frank, you've had Daniel since he turned pro. I feel like we've seen everything with Daniel, the ups and downs. You've always backed your man, and right now you have another heavyweight champion of the world. You must feel really blessed with the story of Daniel Dubois, considering the amount of critique he got against Joe Joyce to where he is now.
He's not the challenger, he's a champion.
I said you got the champion. I said you have the champion, yeah.
The challenger. Look, he's done brilliantly. He went and fought Hrgovic when a lot of people chose not to fight him. He was undefeated at the time and done a magnificent job. First couple of rounds were a little bit tough for him, but he overcome that and showed what he's all about. And the prize at the end of the day was this fight at Wembley. And it doesn't get any better than this. You've got two Brits in there fighting for the IBF title, two probably of the biggest punchers in the heavyweight division. And as we all know, when you've got two quality British fighters fighting each other for such a prestigious title, or a prestigious title, you always get a classic fight. Big punchers, it won't go the distance. Somebody's going to go. I've got my opinion who I feel is going to win. That's why we've done this fight. And one thing's for sure, it's going to be exciting. And it's one of them where you can genuinely say, do not blink. Do not blink.
I was watching a few old interviews, Frank, in the lead up to doing this, and for a few years now you've been saying you fancy Daniel Dubois against Anthony Joshua. You wanted the fight. Obviously, this gets Anthony Joshua to the table. But why have you been so confident, and why have you been wanting this fight for so long?
I think because of styles. And in the last year, Anthony has matured, not just as a fighter, mentally as well. And you've seen that. He's gone into his last two fights, and the bookmakers had him the underdog in both those fights, and he fought in those fights like he was the favourite. And he'd go into this fight with a lot of people, certainly I've seen with the bookmakers as being the underdog. I don't see it that way. I've got a lot of respect for what he's done. Certainly lately, AJ, he's on a roll of 4 wins. But if you look at the last couple of fights, Anthony's fought better quality fighters. Daniel's fought better quality fighters, and I just feel it's his moment. He's 26 years of age. He can punch. He can box. He's a great finisher. If he gets you in trouble, I think he's probably one of the best finishers out there. And it's a battle of hearts and mind. That's what this fight's going to be about. Who's got the strongest heart and who's got the strongest mind? They're both big punchers, and who's going to be able to find their plan B when they get in trouble. The jab is the key to this fight.
Eddie, let's bring you in. Obviously, long-time promoter of Anthony Joshua. You've had him since after the Olympics. You've had some incredible nights. Let's not forget Wembley against Vladimir Klitschko, Wembley against Povetkin. You travelled the world with AJ for huge success. Here we go again, back Wembley Stadium. AJ looking to become a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. Sell your man.
I mean, the resume, the history speaks for itself. Just to reiterate what Frank and Spencer said earlier about this incredible movement that we're seeing in boxing. I mean, we're 9 months into the inception of Riyadh season. And I think when we began this journey, no one believed that Riyadh season would leave Riyadh. And His Excellency says he wanted to bring a major event to the UK, to Wembley Stadium. I didn't necessarily believe him at the time. I thought it was all hyperbole in an interview. And it was the truth. What he's done is create, in my opinion, one of the biggest nights the sport has ever seen in this country. And that sits just 6 weeks after Riyadh season Los Angeles, which is fast approaching as well. So we're very lucky to be on this journey, and very lucky to be on the journey with Anthony Joshua. I mean, quite nostalgic walking around today, thinking back to the days of where we were. I suppose we were the rookies, really, walking around Wembley Stadium with 90,000 people, hearts beating out of our chest as he dethroned Vladimir Klitschko in the other greatest night in British boxing history. And he gets to do it all again here to become a 3-time world heavyweight champion. An accolade that sits with very, very few. And it's a real fight. We respect Daniel Dubois. I think he's done incredibly well. There weren't many screaming out to fight Filip Hrgović. He did it, he stepped up. And I'm so glad that he's champion, because AJ can come in, as he always does, with a challenger mindset. But when he beats Daniel Dubois, he would have beaten another champion to become a 3-time world champion. This is just part of the journey to undisputed, which we've never lost sight of. And we see it. We see it clearer than ever. In the shape of his life, in the form of his life. This man to my right has done an incredible job. So yeah, in terms of selling him, just sit back and watch a night that is going to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. A thrilling main event, 2 Brits fighting for the world heavyweight title, and a breathtaking undercard with these guys down here that's just been put together in the most stunning fashion.
Final one, Eddie. If I were to have asked you or told you that AJ is going to be fighting in front of 90,000 at Wembley Stadium and it's going to be a Frank Warren fighter, you probably wouldn't have thought it would be Daniel Dubois. How incredible has his turnaround been?
AJ never really asks who he's fighting. Obviously, myself, and I want to thank as well 258 that have done an incredible job throughout the journey as well. Take care of the business with AJ. He will fight anybody. And when Daniel got the victory, that was the opponent. It just happens to come with a shiny red and gold belt that makes even more history for, I think, one of the most pivotal characters in the history of our sport in this country, in Anthony. And it just feels perfect. The timing feels perfect. So confident, so relaxed. It's just like bread and butter for Anthony Joshua these days. Another stadium, another big challenge, more pressure, ready to do the business.
Ready to do the business indeed. All right, let's hear from our 2 main event fighters. Let's start with the champion, Daniel Dubois, the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world. Does it feel a bit different? You've heard me say that now a few times, the IBF heavyweight champion of the world. That's a dream, right? Fighters start out and they want to become champions. You now are that. Does it feel any different?
Yeah, a little bit, finding out. I would have loved to win it on the night of my last fight, but, here we are. I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and, we keep going.
Have you found out something about yourself with your last 2 performances? You had to dig really deep against Jarrell Miller. You found something. You found that second win and got the late stoppage. You had to dig really deep against Filip Hrgović, and you found something there as well. Do you feel like you're finding something out about yourself after every single fight?
Definitely. I'm learning more about myself, how to be, as a fighter, as a person, coming out of the darkness, going into the light, and, being the man of the future and, improving all around as a fighter and an athlete. So, yeah, really up for this, ready to go.
I asked Frank about the call-outs for AJ. You've also been calling out Anthony Joshua for a while. For a long time, he was the top dog. Was that the call-out, or was there anything else in it?
That's just where I'm aiming for, to be the best, you know, to fight the best and beat the best. And, you know, AJ's been the king for a long time, and, you know, we all know he's been the king for a very long time, and on the night I need to become a king slayer, and that's my goal, and that's the mission at hand, so I'm just ready to go.
You are underdog in this fight. That doesn't really mean much because you've been underdog against Jarrell Miller and you were underdog against Filip Hrgovic. How confident are you, Daniel, that you can get the job done September 21st?
I'm ready to let my fist do the talking, you know. I'm 100% ready to go. I'm going to go to camp, focus, and train like a beast. So, yeah, bring it on.
As you've always done, bring it on, Daniel Dubois. Let's go to AJ, two-time former unified heavyweight champion of the world. Here we are again. As you've always said to me, next man up.
Yeah, correct, next man up. Congratulations to Daniel for winning his last fight. I went out there to watch it live, and we're here now. And before I carry on, we have to give a shout out to all the promoters on the table for bringing this card together, and especially His Excellency as well, because, you know, he's brought me some unbelievable opportunities to fight, and this one is near enough topping it, bringing Riyadh season to the UK. Phenomenal opportunity, but yeah, as I said, I went out there to watch the fight. Good fight between the two of them, Hrgovic and Dubois. I picked Dubois to win as well. Yep. I watched boxing closely, and I picked him before, and it came true, and we're here. So I've been having Dubois on my mind for a while, and he'll be on my mind for the next 12 weeks until I get my hand raised.
You say you've had him on your mind for a while. You've always been linked with Deontay Wilder and potentially a Joseph Parker rematch. Tyson Fury's name has been mentioned for the past decade.
Yeah.
Not much Daniel Dubois. So you've had to almost, I guess, realign your mind quite quickly, right, recently, because he's not really been thought of as your opponent.
No, not like the way they mention like Fury or they mention Wilder. Not in that same breath, but I'm not silly either. I know the game. We're all in the wild, innit? We're a pack of lions and we're hunters, so I've got to keep my eyes peeled. I can't just focus on those two and not worry about anyone else. So I've always kept my eyes peeled on Daniel and the rest of the heavyweights as well. So whoever it was going to be in there on that seat, I would have still been ready to fight September. So yeah, it just happens to be him now.
Yeah, obviously, look, it's a massive night for Riyadh season. We are going back to Wembley Stadium. You were so successful there against Vladimir Klitschko, against Povetkin. Is the carrot being dangled, that extra kind of cream on top, if you like, the fact that you are looking to become a three-time heavyweight champion of the world?
Not necessarily, if I'm honest with you, because the goal is just getting through a successful training camp, doing exactly what I need to do, instructed by my team and my coach, and then performing on the night. And then the shiny stuff comes at a later date. But for me, the goal is just to kind of focus on what's in front of me. And that's a good training camp, a good performance, and everything else comes after that.
He's a young man, Daniel Dubois, only 26 years of age, right? He's been around for a long time. You're slightly older, obviously still in fantastic shape, but slightly older, Anthony. What's it like now, these new young heavyweights coming up that you've almost got to slay?
What, being an old man, basically?
Being an older man.
I feel fresh. I feel fresh as my shoulders clicking. Nah, I feel good, I feel good. Like, I don't drink, don't smoke. Have a little turn up now and again, but I still don't drink, don't smoke. And that's about it. That's my only vice, just socializing. So I feel good. Thank God I didn't get caught up in no antics outside of boxing. I use boxing as a path to keep me on the straight and narrow. I didn't use it as a path to kind of take me off it. So yeah, young fighters coming up, look after your bodies, look after your minds. It will pay dividends in the long run. So for this fight here with Daniel, it don't matter if I was 35 and he was 15, 20, 25. It don't matter. It's just a fight, and I'm in peak condition. I feel good. I feel strong. So yeah, age is just a number in this one.
All right, I do want to get the final words from Eddie and Frank. I was going to ask this question to AJ, but I know how AJ won't answer it, so I'm going to come to you. And AJ, feel free to jump in if you want to on it. Obviously, this is for a heavyweight title. There is a big fight December as well, Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. Is the big plan here, Eddie, potentially, if AJ comes through this one, to fight the winner of Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk?
I think the answer from AJ would, of course, be September 21. But as a team, we have a plan, we have a vision, and we've always believed he will be undisputed champion. As it happens, the rise or the re-rise of Anthony Joshua has given us more confidence than ever. And we don't see anybody in the division beating him. Not just Daniel Dubois, anybody. And again, that's the work that he's put in. You know, he talks about he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke. Any young fighter, any young sportsman wants to understand how to live your life, follow Anthony Joshua. Every day's training camp. You know, it's not how long do I have to get ready. It's just he's ready and he just turns it up when camp begins. So we've had a dream, been manifesting the Undisputed Championship, and that's what's going to happen. It's not a case of if or maybe, and there's no plan, there's no contract to fight the winner. It's just going to happen. He's going to win this fight, and then he's going to beat the winner of Fury Usyk. But he's just focused on September 21. I've just got wild dreams that I just know are going to happen, because I can see it, I can smell it, and I can breathe it, and I can't wait.
Frank, obviously I have to give you a chance to rebuttal on that. Obviously, look, your guy could be potentially fighting for an undisputed heavyweight title. What do you make of Eddie's words there that it's going to happen? You can already see it in the stars.
Look, Eddie's very confident of Anthony, and I'm very confident of Daniel. And we'll find out on the night. You know, styles make fights, all those cliches, everything. But you know what? Once that bell goes, they're going to get down on it, and it will be exciting. There's no doubt about it. They ain't going to be fiddling around trying to feel each other out. This is going to be warfare in the ring. That's what it will be. This is going to be a great, great fight. And this man here is going to be successful in defending his title. That is how I see the fight, and nobody's going to change my opinion on that. That's how I see it, and I believe he'll do it.
Great fight, great main event, great undercard as well, sorry.
And just, I've got to say it, don't forget, this Riyadh season card, the Wembley edition, 21st of September, Friday, tickets are on sale at ticketmaster.com from midday. You better get your ticket order in now, because this is a guaranteed sellout. This is absolutely the best card that's been on in the UK in my time in boxing. A fabulous, fabulous night of quality boxing, thanks to the Riyadh season. Don't miss it.
I had that written down, Frank. I was going to say it.
I know, but
I was right there.
We're just naturally promoters, so
no, very, very
promoting
true.
the show. That's what we're doing.
Very true. Just before we do wrap, I just want to quickly get a word from Hamza Shiraz. Hamza, obviously you are a Riyadh season ambassador as well. Congratulations on being that. What does that entail? Does that entail promoting Riyadh season as you always do?
Yeah. Just a massive thank you to His Excellency for believing in me, for choosing me to have that role. And yeah, it just entails promoting Riyadh season, really. Promoting Riyadh season, turning up to all the events. I went to the UFC the other night. It was a great event. And I mean, I can't express through my gratitude through words, really. So it's all about just putting on good performances, carrying on winning, and just giving back, really, and promoting Riyadh season to the best of my ability.
There you go. Fantastic fight card, fantastic main event. As I said, September 21st from the National Stadium, Wembley. We're expecting something very, very special. Just to add something extra to that as well, we are going to have a huge music act performing there as well. And if you've covered Riyadh season, you know when I say huge, it will be a huge performer. All right, the fighters are going to do face-offs for the media now in front of us. So let's get ready for that.
What a press conference we've just seen. Well done, Ade. That was brilliant from you. And I wonder, I don't know this, but I wonder if this music is an idea of who might be performing. How good would that be?
Mate, are you telling us something here?
I don't know, I'm just hoping.
But like Ade said there, if someone is mentioned that there's going to be an artist, we know it's going to be huge. We've been spoiled at these Riyadh seasons. Me and Barry have been to, well, you've been to all of them. I've been to all of them bar one, and every single one's been special. So yeah, no doubt we're going to be treated with something special on the 21st.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I mean, we don't know who it is, so we can just start hoping who it might be. But that press conference, so we've got the full card now, full fight card, and as Frank said just then, probably the biggest he's seen in British boxing in his time.
Yeah, it's a bold statement. It's a huge card. What makes it so intriguing is not so much that it's the two British heavyweights boxing for the championship of the world. It's the strength and depth of the card in total, where every fight is really world level. There's only one fighter there you'd say wouldn't be ready to fight for a world title. One fighter out of the whole bunch. So that's pretty good going. So usually cards like this, there might be 15 fights, but then you've got loads of other fights underneath that people don't take no notice of. But these are all fights that are intriguing to watch, and also some of them are hard to pick yet again, like we had against the 5v5, which were really fights where you were tossing and turning about who you thought might win the fights.
Definitely. And Darren, of all the fights on there, we're seeing the face-offs now. Which one is sort of standing out, exciting you? You can't pick the main event, obviously, but what one is getting you excited? And as we see Mark Chamberlain again, obviously His Excellency's favourite fighter.
Yeah, great to see Mark Chamberlain back. So exciting. The way he just demolishes his opponents with such ease has been so eye-catching. He's turned a lot of heads, and though he may be His Excellency's favourite fighter, I think he's made a lot of fans out there his favourite fighter. Really, really exciting. So that one is a big step up for Padley. I do like Liam Smith, Josh Kelly. I think that's an intriguing fight. Great to see Hamza Shiraz back. I mean, the card is brilliant. Look, these two as well. Joshua Buatsi is in with a very, very lively opponent here who's on a good run of form. I mean, his performance against Craig Richards was very, very impressive. I think a lot of us, including myself, felt that Craig Richards was not a huge favourite, but a favourite, probably the easiest favourite to pick out of the 5v5, but he ripped up that script, did Willie Hutchinson, and put in a career best performance. Joshua Buatsi, we're still kind of yet to see the best of him, and that's exciting, I feel, because if he does turn up and he does show us the promise that he had and brought through from the Olympics, Barry, it's very exciting.
Well, he hasn't
getting a little bit heated as well.
Yeah, he hasn't quite had that fight yet that shows us what we think his potential is. And look, we talk about potential. We can't keep talking about potential with Joshua Buatsi. He's been a professional long enough now to say you're there or you're not ready. Either one or you're either good enough or you're not good enough. But he hasn't had that fight yet that tells us, yes, he's ready for the next step. He's done all the right things to get himself in the right rankings. He is an amazing, talented fighter. But he's up against a guy here, Willie Hutchinson, who is full of confidence. He's always been full of confidence, but even in the Lennox Clark defeat, even though he got stopped, he showed some good quality. He tried to fight back under pressure when he got dropped. He tried to do the right things. He's regrouped, he's come up in weight, and he seems a better fighter for it.
That was a long face-off there, so it's already getting spicy. 12 weeks out.
Yeah, look, every single fighter on this card believes in themselves, and you're just seeing that here. And it's a great opportunity here. We were talking whilst the presser was going on there. It really is winner stays on, and it's so important that these guys on this card put in a performance that they can be proud of, get that win, get their arm raised, and they can move on to the next one.
Definitely. So we moved on to the next face-off. Here we go. So this one, I think, was a bit of a surprise when I saw this one. Liam Smith against Josh Kelly. So Josh Kelly, it's at middleweight, so Josh Kelly is stepping up.
Yeah, he is stepping up. I haven't got a problem with that. I know people are surprised by that, but I think, the Josh Kelly's a welterweight was too small. Losing to light middleweights, or super welterweights, I should call it, and he seemed comfortable. But he's a big guy. I think he's grown. I think he's matured a bit. But he's up against a guy in Liam Smith who is innately strong, innately tough, and is better technically than what people give him credit for. He's a very, very good pressure fighter.
Yeah, that should be a good one. I mean, it's all to play for both of them at this stage, especially, I think, for Liam Smith at this stage of his career.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he pretty much, he's got to go. He haven't got time's not on his side, so this is a fight that he has to go. He has to win and he has to dominate if he can. And for Kelly, this is his coming out fight. If he wins this, he's highly ranked in the world ratings that below. But this fight here, this is a fantastic fight. Kakachi, ripping up the script to stop, not just beat, but to stop Joe Cordina. And Josh Warrington, who's been a massive featherweight for years. We've been surprised he hasn't moved up already, Darren.
Yeah, look, we heard Frank Warren say that this show is warfare, and I think this really is war. I think from the first bell they're going to go at it. we see Kakachi rip up the script. I mean, it was so impressive. I had Cordina heavily in that fight just because of form. You know, I really did think that he would go on and do special things. I mean, he already has two-time world champion, but the way Anthony Kakachi won that fight was so impressive, looked strong. And Josh Warrington, we've seen, yes, one winning fight, but it's the quality he's been in with. But our man's this, Tyler Denny. We were commentating on him just recently on Saturday. But again, it just shows you that winner stays on mentality, or the system that's happening. But I mean, the man in front of him, look at the size of Hamza Shiraz. Every single time I see him, I say to him, I cannot believe you make middleweight. He looked so good, didn't he, Barry, last time out?
They both look tremendous. Tyler Denny's one of those guys who's just thinking, I'm just going to keep going. He don't put pressure on himself, because no one thought he would get to where he is now. I think, but he's done it the hard way in the small hall shows, selling tickets, building his way up, and then every fight, even his last fight, and even this fight again, he's still the opponent. He's European champion, and he's still going in as the B side. But I think he thrives on that. He's better fighter for it. And even though Hamza Shiraz will be a massive favourite, with all the attributes should do a good job, Tyler Denny has that sort of style that can drag you into his fight, as we see against Felix Cash, make you look scrappy, and then turn the fight around and beat you.
Definitely. Well, before the main fighters go out for their face-off, as we saw, Anthony Kakachi, Josh Warrington is another Matchroom v Queensbury fight. But on that top table,
CEO of GIA, engineer Basil Bufferot.
we didn't know there was going to be the MC then, but there was 5 promoters involved in this fight card. So they're getting some photos now, and I think they're getting all the promoters in. They're getting basically everyone on the undercard. And just what an occasion having the 5 promoters all involved in this one card.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so new, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what dreams are made of. Me and Barry, boxing fans, first and foremost, we want to see this. We want to see everyone working together, because when you look on that stage, you see the magnitude of event that is being able to be produced. When everyone works together, everyone pulls together for the sake of this great sport, the greatest sport in the world, is fantastic to see.
And what it shows is, and what it'll prove and transpire is, fighters can't avoid each other, because there's no reason. Before, we're on different networks, so the promoters don't work with each other, and it's not me, I'll fight anybody. The fighters will, but now that will be, well, if you will fight anybody, there will be opportunities to fight anybody. And I think that will either help the sport grow or expose people who don't want those big tests, who don't want those fights, who are just solely in it for the money. Because the people...
The end of the pretender.
Yeah, okay, well said. End the pretender. No, I'll go.
Yeah, because the 5 promoters involved: Matchroom Boxing, Queensbury Promotions, Boxer, Wasserman Boxing, and Gold Star Promotions. I mean, it's just so brilliant to see. And bringing their best fighters. They're not scared to bring their best fighters and put them up to the test, are they?
Yeah, look, it's so good for the future of the sport. A time when the sport is starting to look for its new stars. AJ, you know, how many years left? 2-3 years at the top. So we're looking at new stars, but the investment that we're getting from all parties here for the sake of this fantastic sport, the greatest sport, like I say, in the world, is brilliant. It's always stood the test of time, boxing, and it always will. With this people working together, it's fantastic, Ali.
Egyptian artist, Mr. Kareem Abdul Aziz.
Okay, here we have it, the main event face-off. We saw them, they were sort of facing off outside of Wembley earlier, and this is the one now after the press conference.
All these face-offs are great, and they are, and they're all intriguing. But when you get 2 giants have a face-off, just gives you a different feel. It does, because you sort of think, if it did kick off, if something did go wrong,
you'd be straight in there to help.
Look at Eddie's face.
What are you
He's
gonna
absolutely buzzing. He lives for this. He knows this is a special event.
Go on sale this Friday through Ticketmaster.
Going to be fireworks, Ali. I've absolutely no doubt about it. When you look at them stylistically, the form that they bring into this fight, it's going to be a special occasion. All of the fights that we've witnessed at Wembley have been special, and this one could potentially top them all.
well, because they both know they have to really stamp their authority early, especially because Frank Warren summed it up, it's a battle of the jab. So Anthony Joshua very rarely gets out-jabbed, and if it is, it's never for a long period of time. It might be for a round or half a round, and then he'll be dominant with the jab, even if against someone like Ruiz, he's not winning the fight, or Usyk's not winning the fight. But his jab's better than others. But with Dubois, he might have a faster jab, but Dubois' jab is heavy. You've seen it against, certainly against Hrgovic, how he steps behind that jab, it's all the weight behind it. So who can establish their jab the earliest and get the most fluency on the jab might be who dictates the fight. That's why I think they will commit early to get in first, to put the panic on their opponent as quick as they can.
And it seems weird to say, but obviously AJ's going in as the challenger, and Dubois is now the world champion.
Yeah, look, boxing is a funny sport, the way the politics work out. And, yep, he's been crowned the new IBF world champion. He'll go in there, as you've said, the champion. AJ, I don't think that will faze him. I think he'll relish the opportunity to become a three-time heavyweight champion of the world. Like I say, sets him into another stratosphere as far as champions are concerned, and British champions that we've had. It's a special occasion, and that adds something really unique to the event also.
And I don't think Dubois, he alluded to it on the stage, I don't think he'd be feeling like a world champion until he wins it in the ring and the announcer says, "and the new." We all, as boxers, that's the dream we had as kids. Someone saying, "and the new," whatever weight it was. Mine was welterweight, even though I was never going to be a welterweight. But because Sugar Ray Leonard was my hero, I wanted to hear that. And the new champion of the world and your name. And so until you hear that, you can't really believe you're at a world champion. So we all go in there as a challenger's mindset also, and knowing this is the biggest fight to date. He's boxing Anthony Joshua at his home in Wembley, which is pretty much his home.
Yeah.
No, that's a task. Forget about the world title. That's hard and a focus on its own. But to do it and win a world title, genuinely win a world title with it, if you can't get motivated for that, then you're in the wrong spot.
It's the pinnacle. This is it. This is everything you dream of. The occasion, everything. This is it.
Or will he suffer? Will he get on top of him? That's what I'm worried about with Dubois. We talk about the mindset, we talk about the taking the knee a couple of times, and that's a mental frailty more than anything else.
Yeah, I think the last two fights will hold him in good stead.
But what about the occasion? Because it's not a big occasion. It's when it comes to Wembley, it's the Anthony Joshua show.
Yeah.
We all know that. How will he cope with that?
Yeah.
I mean, we all say about fighters. Just sometimes you see with Canelo, people box Canelo. They're not afraid of Canelo, as good as he is. But then when you go to when you box him, when you go to Vegas, it's Canelo. It's Canelo's night.
I've got a feeling here. Yeah, he'll certainly be wary of the event. I do believe that, but I think he's just going to go straight at AJ. Whether that's the right tactic or the wrong tactic, I do believe he's just going to get to that centre ring and try and bully AJ.
Well, we will find out on September 21st. But before then, there is plenty of boxing to look forward to live on DAZN.
Hey, champ. I know why you're here. You're a born winner, the top dog. You have a proper punch on you. It only takes one, eh? But I know you're not all about throwing haymakers. You know your bobs from your wees, and you know DAZN's got over 100 live events every year. Over 100. Proper stat. All the action, the chaos, the comebacks, with non-stop knockout. Big fights every week. So get those gloves back on. Together, we're boxing royalty. DAZN, undisputed.
So much to come on DAZN, and here is a little reminder of what we can expect. So we have got on Saturday, July the 13th, Ennis is coming to DAZN facing David Adenisian. We've got Jake Paul taking on the MMA star Mike Perry. That is July the 20th. But before then, it is the big one, Riyadh season, Crawford against Matchroom Boxing. Okay, now you can see that the two main promoters for the main event on September 21st have joined me, Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. I mean, what an event we've got, what a press conference we've just seen. How excited are you about this one?
I'm very excited. It's probably the biggest card that's ever taken place in the UK, certainly Europe. It's a fabulous event. There's nothing like when two Brits fight for an important title. It's the IBF heavyweight title, both big punchers. And you can go back over the years, look at the Ben Eubanks fights, loads and loads of fights like that. They're always classic events. And this main event will be a classic event. It's part of the Riyadh season. We thank His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season for helping us get this together, making this happen. And the undercard is just fabulous. I mean, it's not really an undercard. They're all main events in their own right. So, for a boxing fan, on the 21st of September, you're going to OD on boxing. This is boxing junkie heaven, I promise you.
And you're going in the main event with a new world champion as well.
Sorry?
You're going in with a new world champion as well, that main event.
Yeah, man. He fought for the interim title against Hrgovic at the last fight in Riyadh and done the business there, and he's now the champion. So AJ will want to be trying to get that belt off him. He certainly won't want to be giving it up, that's for sure. And I think we're going to see something, a bit of a classic on the night.
Well, we hope so. Eddie, I mean, this is a chance for AJ to become 3-time world champion. You've got the gift that he gave you earlier, so he's obviously...
Might suit me, but I'm wearing it now till the fight, so,
He's obviously in good spirits and he's ready for this. He's ready for this big one.
Yeah, look, it's a magical event, as Frank and Spencer said. When His Excellency said we want to bring Riyadh season to London, to Wembley, sort of ask yourself, how does that work? And he's done it, and he's not just done it, he's done it with probably the best card we've ever seen in this country from top to bottom. From our side with AJ, what a chance, to become a 3-time world heavyweight champion. It's a list of very, very few. And, it just really reignites the dream of Undisputed. That's where we've always wanted to be. I think we're one fight away from a shot at that, but all that matters is September 21st. It's a brilliant fight. Two big punching British heavyweights for the world heavyweight title. These guys didn't need an undercard, by the way. They could have sold this whole thing out. AJ's done 90,000 here twice, but with this card, every fight capable of headlining its own card. Blockbuster Riyadh season event, September 21st.
Yeah, well, you said it doesn't need an undercard, but it has got one, and a very good one. There is one fight that's another Matchroom v Queensberry on that one, and also loads of other good ones. Just how are you feeling about the undercard? And also the fact that there's one more on the undercard of you two against each other.
Having lost 10-0, I feel like this main event is worth 20 points. So, there's got to be some kind of new rule. But, Frank's got a couple of fighters on the card as well in great fights. But for us, Kakachi against Warrington.
It's cracking.
I mean, we could have filled up Belfast, we could have filled up
Leeds,
Ellen Road,
yeah.
Manchester. It's a massive fight. And Kakachi's coming off a red-hot win. And Josh Warrington trying to become a 2-division, 3-time world champ.
And that says it all. What Eddie says is how it is. But I've got every confidence in our guys. That's why we make our fights. We make them to win them. We wouldn't put them in if we didn't think they could win. This is a fabulous fight card. And the spice of him and Eddie and myself, Matchroom and Queensberry, it makes it even better. And, what's going on at the moment, what's being delivered, thanks to Riyadh season, is something special. And as long as we can keep putting our guys against each other, they're always going to be competitive fights every time. And as I say, on the 21st, you're going to see something special.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the 5v5, sorry, Eddie, and how competitive
what was
the
that you were going
fights
to talk
were.
about?
And obviously, it was a Queensberry win, it was. And just that show, and, that was a sort of historic event. We can just see it here, and we can hear your we can see your reactions. And how involved you both got in it.
But that's
only
what
a little
about,
bit. Only a little bit.
But that's what it's all about. I mean, look at the emotion there, and it's all real. It's not. People say, oh yeah, they're only coming together for money. I'll be straight up. Money and opportunity brought us together, but the relationship's evolved since. When we first met back here for the first time, it was almost like a reluctant shake of the hand, and we have to do as His Excellency says. True. Now we're working on so many big projects together. Riyadh season here, of course, Riyadh season in Los Angeles on August the 3rd as well. Bivol, Beterbiev coming up, Fury Usyk coming up. It's amazing, and those are the kind of nights you want to see, that kind of passion. And I said to I was actually talking about the 5v5 yesterday to my old man. I said to him, I think because we lost 10-0, it didn't hurt as much as if it was really close. And he went, only you could spin that kind of rubbish to me. You got battered. So we've got a big night here, and we're already planning the next 5v5. So,
which
brilliant
we're all
times.
looking forward to. And you know, look, it's a fabulous format. It's taken His Excellency to bang our heads together to get it over the line, and it's over the line. And all we want to do now is to keep delivering and delivering for the fans and for our respective company and fighters. You know, it's never been so good. I mean, you must be having a time of your life on the Zone, TNT. Everybody who's involved in this is benefiting from it. More importantly, the fans are. They're seeing the fights that for years they may have felt weren't going to happen. It's all happening now. It's just a brilliant situation. And, you know, I just want to ask Eddie I just want to hear him say 10-0 one more time.
Yeah, I forgot all about it, to be honest with you, but, you know.
But, look, it's fabulous. And this event on the 21st, you know, again, we got some very close fights between our two respective camps, and I think we're going to see, you know, some cracking fights, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have to just point out how good it is for the fans, the fact that it's Riyadh season but in Wembley. I mean, that's what people have been wanting. They've been wanting
that was a promise that was made.
Yeah.
That was a promise that was made and was delivered by Riyadh season. It's happening.
By the way, Riyadh season was going to be, wasn't it, October till March?
Yeah.
You know, then you saw June the 1st, the 5v5, and what, May 18th, Usyk Fury. Now you've got Los Angeles, Wembley. Riyadh season is not only not no longer in Riyadh just necessarily, it's also 365 days a year. So we're absolutely thrilled to be part of it.
It's fabulous. It's fabulous to be part of this.
And it is what the fans want, and it just means, as well as you two working together, which we've seen a few times now, 5 promoters were up there on that stage, and that is so important for boxing, just to bring it all together and make the big fights happen, isn't it?
It does, and it gives everybody opportunities. You know, everybody's involved, everybody's engaged in this, and the point is proven by the fights that are being made. I mean, it's just fantastic. And I mean, there's a great fight there between Willie Hutchinson and Joshua Buatsi. What a cracking fight that is. I mean, these are just, as I say, in their own right, are main events. Brilliant fight.
Definitely. Well, I think you've got other media commitments, so I will let you both go. But thank you for joining us. And here's a little reminder of the big nights that are coming up on DAZN this weekend.
Giving boxing exactly what he needs. The best be the best. Estrada's a huge star, risking it all. You talk about pound for pound great fighters, Bam Rodriguez.
Once we're in that ring, there's no respect.
This kid is super special.
From here on out, it's just big fight after big fight. I can't wait to put on the show.
A fight of the year contender written all over it.
Such a big weekend on DAZN coming up. You can get excited. It starts off on Thursday, so you've got a show to look forward to. Fulham Alexander on Thursday. Then you've got 2 shows on Friday to look forward to. And then it doesn't stop there. The bumper night that's happening on Saturday night, live on DAZN. You've got 3 shows to choose from, and it all culminates in that world title fight between Estrada and Bam Rodriguez. And yes, Barry is right next to me, and he's smiling. He's excited for that one. Right, Barry, come on, talk to us about that. You are going over there, which you must have been.
Tomorrow, I can't wait.
I bet you're going to go straight to the airport after this.
The thing is, if you're a real boxing fan, this has fight of the year contender written all over it. I can't see how it does not deliver, because you've got both guys with power, supreme skills, the footwork. But forget about if you're loving a footwork, you can watch this fight in 2 halves: the waist down and the waist up. You want to watch the waist up for the punches, but the footwork you're going to see from Estrada in and out with his feet, trying to make you miss, make you pay, which he does so well. But for Bam Rodriguez, his footwork, the way he spins around the target, he throws shots. He's behind you before you even know where he is, and he's throwing again. Now, to do that the way he does it and maintain his power makes it a special fight. These are Hall of Fame fighters. These are future Hall of Fame fighters, guaranteed. I feel Estrada's already done his work. He's already punched his ticket for the ballot there, for the first-time ballot. Rodriguez is pretty much already on his way there already. I would feel already 26. That's all he is, by the way. In boxing terms, he's still a baby. This is a great fight. Phoenix, by the way, also is one of the best boxing cities on the planet. It really is. What a place to go, Phoenix, to box it. It's unbelievable. They all get there early, the crowd. They're loud, they're proud, they're fantastic. It's a great place to be. But that fight could be anywhere, and I would want to go to see it. what can I say? Just get me on a plane, get me over to Phoenix. Bam versus Estrada.
All right, enough of that.
Oh, classic.
I won't be there, unfortunately, but I will be watching it, and it's going to be epic. This is high-level boxing. This is as good as it gets, for all the reasons Barry's just touched on there. They're both extremely well-schooled. They have everything in their locker. There's so much on the line. Bam moving back up, the Superfly. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm just thinking in my head technically how this could play out, and there's numerous ways that this could go.
Well, by the way, because what Bam does so well, Bam will bully you with massive intelligence, but Estrada cannot be bullied. No, Chocolatito, the great Chocolatito couldn't bully him.
12 rounds of it, wasn't it?
Exactly, yeah, 3 times. So he couldn't bully him, so he will fire back under pressure. He's not great with southpaws, Estrada, and he's at the tail end of his career, you would think, but he's still good enough to beat anyone on his day.
Well, I am going to jump in because you could probably talk about this all day.
I'm going to keep talking until the fight happens.
But we do need to also talk about what we've just seen in the press conference today, obviously the fight card that's happening in September 21st, and just your final thoughts on what we've seen and the magnitude of what's going to come.
Yeah, I think personally, I just think we've been blessed with a fantastic card from top to bottom. It's going to be, as Barry said there, with Phoenix, I feel this one's going to be packed from as soon as it opens. People are going to be sat down, they're going to be watching a brilliant card, and the top of the bill is the big vocal point here, the spectacle that we're all wanting to see. 2 British heavyweights going at it for the IBF world title. It's got everything. It really has.
Yeah, it certainly does, doesn't it, Rory?
It does, and just added to that, if winning the world title in an all-British encounter is not enough in Wembley Stadium, the winner gets to box for the undisputed title against either Tyson Fury or the champion now, Alexander Usyk. So there's enough motivation for both fighters there to bring their A game and put on their best performance.
Yeah, it certainly is. Well, that is all from today. What a day we've had. I mean, incredible stuff that is coming. That is happening September 21st. AJ will be back at Wembley. Can he make it to the top of the mountain for the 3rd time? We'll just wait and see.
Alexander Usyk has become the heavyweight champion. It is repeat, not revenge in the desert.
These are difficult moments for AJ.
Look, if you knew my story, you would understand the passion.
Joshua takes on Jermaine Franklin, perhaps one of the most important fights of his career.
Joshua on a revival mission, looking to rebuild his career. The winner, Joshua. The quest to become world heavyweight champion for a 3rd time continues.